Click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. Before we get started, I'd like to give a quick shout out to some of our friends. The Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. Search for them on Facebook. Central Minnesota Pond Racing. Search for them on Facebook. The historic Lancaster Motel for the ultimate Eastern trail riding adventure. Crane's Snowmobile Museum at 172 Main Street in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Vintage Snowmobile Club of America Quarterly Magazine. The New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum at Bear Brook State Park in Allenstown, New Hampshire. And lastly, if you decide to advertise with the Vintage Snowmobile podcast, this could be your advertising message. Good evening and welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you're here. As usual, I have a robust lineup of vintage snowmobile entertainment on tap for you tonight. But before we get into all of that, I want to make sure that everything is working properly. So if you can see my face and hear my voice, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment. Please let me know where you're viewing this from and whether you are a first-time viewer or a regular viewer. Now, to our first-time viewers, if this is your first time hanging out with us tonight, I hope you have a good time with us, and I hope you decide to join us here each and every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, this podcast simulcasts to 8 different places across Facebook and YouTube. So wherever you're viewing this right now, just circle back in 1 week's time, and we'll be here waiting for you with another fun-filled episode. Now, to our regular viewers who are here week after week, month after month, and season after season, you guys are the ones who make this possible, and we really, really appreciate that. So before we get started, let's take a few comments to see what we've got here. Ben Thomas is in the house. Loud and clear, he says, from Carterville, New York. Thank you for being on. Now, if you were here last week, Ben was our live guest. Mike Whiteside is in the house. Says loud here, Mikey. Appreciate that. Reese Fleury, our mutual friend, says sounds good. He's from Tupper Lake, New York. Our good friend David from Alaska Railroad says good evening, everyone. Hope everyone had a great New Year's. Working great, Mike, regular viewer, and we appreciate that. He's here each and every week, both for the Vintage Snowmobile podcast and the Muscle Car podcast that we do. Dave Lowry, regular viewer from Alberta, Canada, says sounds great, Mike. Appreciate the feedback. Jeffrey Patton says looks and sounds good from Pennsylvania. And Brent Corbin says loud and clear from Owasso, Michigan. Thank you so much. So without any further ado, let's bring our guests on, get the party started. Let's see here, just a couple of clicks to get the screen the way we want it. There we go. Now we've got Dirk Siems with us in the house tonight. Dirk is a frequent contributor to this podcast. He's given us a lot of video clips, and we finally get to meet him in the flesh tonight. We're going to look at some of those video clips, and we're going to do some live show and tell. He's got these sleds behind him, and then a little later in the podcast, he's got a whole other building with even more sleds. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be doing some live show and tell as well as some video clips. Dirk, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, it's had a cool day finally in Minnesota, so maybe we'll get some snow eventually.
Good. That would be nice. It's been a strange winter, hasn't it?
It certainly has.
Yes. And Rob, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Mike. And yourself?
Doing good. Good. Have you got any snow over there, Rob?
No, I can still see green grass. And matter of fact, all this weekend I'm working at a motorcycle show.
Unreal. Yeah, we've only got an inch and a half at the most here in northern Vermont. It's a pathetic winter for snow, that's for sure.
Yep.
But we've got a couple of comments that have come in. Let's see where I was here. Okay, oh, here we go. My good friend John Springer Jr. is in the house. Sounding good, Mike. In fact, I was messaging with John earlier today. We're going to be having him on in the near future as a guest for some show and tell. Someone on Facebook saying loud and clear from Sudbury, Ontario, regular viewer. Also, regular viewer Brian Van Haverbeek says loud and clear from Mount Bridges, Ontario. Kevin Culhane says loud and clear in Sudbury, Ontario. Another person from Platkill, New York. I wonder if that's It might be Stacy and Art Fosler. They must be viewing in a Facebook group tonight. But anyway, if that is Stacy and Art Fosler, I was messaging with them earlier tonight. We're going to be having them on the podcast in the near future as well. Cannot wait to do that. And it was fun to finally meet them. That was really cool. John Tamke is in the house, first time viewer, logging in from Battle Lake, Minnesota. Oh, cool. That's a friend of yours, Dirk?
Oh yeah, I just was with him a few days ago.
Nice, very cool. And then we've got someone else on Facebook, loud and clear from Vernon Center, New York. Matt Schmidt from Grafton, Wisconsin's in the house. How you doing? Steve Woodward, Rochester, New York. Send us snow. I know we're all needing some. And also in upstate New York, Ben Thomas saying just a dusting there as well. Think snow. So anyway, let's get this party started. Dirk, you do a lot of video at vintage snowmobile shows and events. And one of the events you like to go to is there's a ride-in Elk River, Minnesota. Do you want to tell us about that real quick?
Yeah, well, so it's in Elk River, and it's been there now for, I think, 4 or 5 years. I'd have to look for sure. And it was a big show that started, it used to be in Waconia, Minnesota. And that's when I started going to it many, many years ago, probably close to when it started. I think it's been somewhere over 30 years they've been doing the show, and it just kind of kept growing and growing. And so they kind of outgrew their location in Waconia. That town was expanding, and some of the public area they used for that wasn't so good. So they started looking for another site, and that's why they ended up in Elk River, which is an awesome site because it's actually like an outdoor recreation park for four-wheeling, and they've got multiple tracks there and lots of big heated buildings inside. You can get in out of the cold, and awesome site. A little different than the old-fashioned one where everything was a little more low-key, but it's a lot of fun.
Nice. Well, let's take a look at a video clip from that event, and then we'll catch up on the other side for some comments on that. And it's taking a moment to load here. The first video always takes a moment to load for some reason. We'll just wait it out. Well, this is where we need the Jeopardy music. Oh, here it comes.
Well, good morning from Elk River, Minnesota. Got the static judging today of the event. Still got an hour or so for sleds to get lined up. So some of the classes are kind of sparse yet, but thought I'd take a quick walk through here before there gets to be so many people. It's hard to see the sleds, but there'll be at least twice as many sleds here yet. They kind of usually come thick and fast towards the end. The unrestored, this is the biggest class here, the classic survivors. So I don't know exactly what the qualifications are, but as time marches on, classic survivors start looking newer and newer, but a lot of nice looking sleds. 1992 to 2000 is the year specification. I'm not sure what else, if they can be touched up, repainted. I'm not sure. I think that they're pretty, I think when it's the survivors, I don't think you can do too much to them other than polish them. I guess I've never seen a headlight like that on an EXT before. Almost looks a little customish, or the windshield or something. So maybe they do allow some modifications, or that was an odd thing that I've just never seen before. That's possible too. Got Indy lineup here. 3 650s in a row. And we're getting back here to vintage unrestored, a Skidoo and a moto ski in here, back when they were similar. And we got another big class coming up here. See, this is vintage unrestored. Got a rough here. Vintage 1973, 1975 unrestored. Pretty big turnout in this class here. Just looking sleds. You got some sparkles going on with the old Stingerette. And some older survivors back here in the next row. It says unrestored 70 to 72. Haven't seen anything super unique there. Here's restored 70 to 72. Go ahead. Lots of entries here. Nice looking sleds. Definitely see a lot of shininess over here in the restored lineup, that's for sure. a lot of background noise out, things moving around. Over here in 67 to 69 unrestored. Caribou, that's something I have seen before, but you don't see too often. I thought they took a Skidoo and put a blue hood on it, but I was listening to a guy in the swap meet, and he's no, not the case. He thinks they just had seen a Skidoo and started to make something that looked like a Skidoo, but didn't really have any common parts or interest as far as that guy goes. Now we're in the 376 front and rear engine restored. I'm not sure if they need to drive them to show them. I'd say at least 90% of them have driven into place, but they have been pulling a few with skids to get them into place. So most of these old rear engine ones, they drove them into place, so that's pretty neat to see. There comes another Caribou. All I had to say was a rare sighting. Here comes another one. I gotta stop putting my glove on here. Let's see if I can do that without dropping the camera. Maybe I'll just pause for a minute. That's a good idea. Almost worked to get my mitten on in the pause position, but then I couldn't restart the video, so I have to fight my mitten on with my teeth there. Okay, Snow Jet, back into Survivor pre-72s. Mercury, Puma, nice shiny Scorpion Stinger. Get the old things that they were. And, that's what I'm doing when we get run over here. Vintage Race, 74 newer, restored. Yep, I think they don't see a lot of action on these restored ones. They all look pretty cleaned up and kept clean. They do have some unrestored racers coming up here. 374 unrestored racers. Skedaddler over here. There was some information. I think there was only made 34 or 35 of them, and this is one of 8. He's aware of that's still in existence. Kind of a clunky looking old thing. It's right up in the running for the loudest sled competition too. Not much muffling going on there. Here's some more restored vintage race. Good. Cross country racer restored. Only a couple so far in this category. Like I say, they'll be coming in. Definitely more entries, but it gets to be so many people, it's tough to take any video, so I'd take this cruise through and see at least a portion of the sleds that'll be here. Now I'm entering into the deer country over here. Featured sled of this event is anything John Deere. So there was a guy here from Illinois, I just saw him pull out, and he had like, I don't know, 8 or 10 restored John Deere's, the older ones. I don't know if he had like one of every model from a certain year. Had a custom trailer, but he had to get back to Illinois, so he rode him yesterday and showed him off a little bit, and then he headed home. So otherwise he'd have just about a whole class by himself, that guy would. And this is one of the most unique John Deere's I've ever stumbled across. I didn't even think it was a thing, but it sounds like they did make them. So sprint fire, but it's a liquid cooled. I guess I can zoom in here on the little things that they got written about that. And it sure looks odd to see a liquid cool engine sticking out the hood of the sprint fire, but I'd say that was probably, well, he's pulling up in the liquid cool class, so that must be a liquid cooled one as well. It just doesn't stick through the hood. Because yeah, where this lineup could be all liquid cooled sleds. I'm not sure where the radiator or heat exchangers are on that. Don't see anything on the running boards, and don't see any radiator. If you just rely on the track. How do they cool that sled? How do they cool that sled? There's no radiator?
Tunnel extractor.
Just the tunnel. Nothing else. Pardon?
This one has poles.
Okay.
Radiator and extractor too.
Okay. All right. Thanks, sir. Probably going to share this on a Vintage Snowmobile Lovers website there. So just thought I'd try to get a little information, since you looks like you probably know the answer to that. I'd never seen one like this with the engine sticking out the hood, this liquid. That's an odd looking thing.
That should be like a sprint fire.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got some information on it here. Well, it sounds like just an odd duck. It sounds like maybe came out the back door of the factory or something. I've never seen one before. That's kind of the only sled that I ran across today. I've never seen one before.
Maybe he just cut that out, or this is a hood from.
Well, it says though on the here. It says it's the number 80 of 126. So it'll be interesting to visit with him, and like I say, maybe came out the side door of the factory, I'm thinking. Yeah. All right. Have a good day. There's some little free airs here. That's a little more common sighting for the older John Deere sleds. 40, yeah, unrestored 76 to 78. I'm sure a lot of these John Deere guys, they're all sitting over in the trailers telling John Deere stories. I'm sure this will get filled in a lot in the next hour or so. I might take a quick cruise through here again. Well, that's definitely a long enough video for now, and I'm going to jump out here and let my fingers warm back up. So again, I'm at Elk River, Minnesota, and not too bad a day today. Could be a little bit warmer, a little bit sunnier, but it's tolerable. So we'll maybe get a wide angle shot from up in the hill a little bit when we get more sleds in here.
Well, there we go. Yeah, great footage, Dirk. We really appreciate that. Rob, any reaction to that? Anything catch your eye
Derek,
there?
that first row you're going through, there was a Skidoo and then a blue one. What did you say that blue one was?
Oh, the caribou.
Caribou, yeah. And it isn't really a Skidoo. I mean, it sure looks like a Skidoo, but I think they just took a picture of a Skidoo and then started making them and put a blue hood on it.
So who made Caribou?
There it is, right there.
Who made the Caribou?
That's
what company?
the Snowmobile company, as far as I know.
Oh yeah, okay, that's not. And the EXT with the flames on the hood.
I think it was actually a Canadian thing. So you should know about that.
I have one of those EXTs, and that's factory having the headlight on the hood.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my daughter's machine now.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
Trying to see if I can find that.
Yeah, they must not have made that for very long. I had never seen that. It kind of looked like an afterthought, either
Right
the
there.
windshield or the headlight or something. Didn't look like they actually were all
they
part of
only did
the
it on the
same
EXT
design, but I guess they were.
Yeah, the
Right
EXT
there,
Special is the only one they did it on. 81, 82, and the 83s. Only on the 550s. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Mine
cool.
don't look that good.
Yeah, that's a nice shape.
Yeah.
That was a
And
good video you did. Nice collection of snowmobiles in that video.
Thanks.
For sure.
Yeah.
And Dirk,
Yeah, you
well,
get
we've
kind
got,
of rushed with people around there and stuff. But,
Now, at that event, is there a ride also afterwards? Or is it
yeah,
just
it's a
show and tell?
multi-day event. So there's a big trail ride, and actually it's pretty neat because the facility's big enough. You don't even have to leave private property, and they have a multi-mile trail system that goes through the woods and all over. So it's kind of nice. And then they actually start around to one of the racetracks. So when the trail ride starts out, and I think that actually I really enjoy looking at at all the sleds, but usually there's always been a trail ride of some sort with this event. And that's kind of my highlight, to see the big clouds of blue smoke.
that is fun for sure. And a little later in the podcast, we're going to look at some trail ride footage. And we do have comments that have come in. Let me see. Where is my spot here? Here we go. David, our good friend David from Alaska Railroad says, nice selection of sleds. Waconia was always on my list to do. Dirk, why did the Waconia show and ride go away? And he was talking about that earlier. Did you want to answer that real quick, Dirk?
Sure. So it's really the same. They moved it. They moved location is what they did, and it kind of outgrew the facilities they had in Waconia. And Waconia is a really rapidly growing area. And in the beginning of the Waconia snowmobile event, the city was super supportive. They brought in a lot of people, for the weekend and whatnot. But it became a lower priority, I think. Nothing bad about the city. It's just that things were changing. So eventually they just needed to have a bigger location. So it's really in a sense, the same show, and there's still some of the same people involved in, but just moved to a bigger, larger venue.
Sure. And then Mike Whiteside says, this is an awesome video, sweet sleds, incredible show. And we appreciate all the feedback on these video clips. We've got more video clips too. So please comment as much as you like on them. And we're also going to be doing some live show and tell a little later. Jeffrey Patton says the Caribou is its own company. Yeah, thank you for that information. Marinus Landsman says, hello from Carvel, Alberta. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming on. Dominic Kane says the museum in Nobbinway, Michigan has a Caribou that is a full track with no skis. Yes, they did make a twin track.
Oh.
And I had a guy on here, I don't know, 3 years ago who restored one. I'll have to find some clips from that and play that sometime. But if you
Oh.
go back in the archives of this podcast, if you go back to the first season, you will find it. I think there might be an image of it on the thumbnail. David from Alaska Railroad says, "Okay, thanks, Dirk, for clarifying that on Waconia." And Reese Fleury says, "Reply to
problem.
Dominic. There is one in this video. Cool deal." And that's regarding the Caribou with the twin track. Okay, cool.
Yeah, there
I
was
didn't
a
catch
machine
that,
in
but
there with no ski on the front. It was yellow.
I wonder if I can find that real
It was,
quick.
I think it was right behind the XT.
Oh, really? Okay.
So that's the one we were talking about.
Yeah.
Right in here
Was it a
somewhere.
blue
maybe.
hood, you know, I think?
Was it?
Only
No?
one kitty cat. Oh, there they are too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't find it, but we do need to move on. Now we've got another video from that event. Let me pull that up. Just takes a moment here. So this is some footage from indoor. You'd mentioned they had some large buildings with things going on indoors. Let's see what's going on indoors.
Good morning from Elk River, Minnesota. I just got my whole sleds unloaded, and I decided to come in the warmth of one of the buildings here and check out. Looks like the last liquefier off the production line. I got some Brian Nelson race sleds here. So the feature sled here at the ride-in is it's a Midwest ride-in, and this used to be in Waconia, Minnesota. 2 years ago, it moved here to Elk River to a beautiful facility here. Anyway, I'm going to see a lot of green, and silver, I guess. This is with John Deere being the featured sleds of the event. I'll be taking some more videos, but I just thought this was a good chance when I didn't have a bunch of people early in the morning here, just to kind of give you a shot of some of the indoor facilities here at ERX Motor Speedway here, where this event has, I think, found a permanent home. So we got a Skidoo that leaked in here with all the John Deeres. It looks like a raffle ticket. Text me if you want to buy a raffle ticket. Like some winner's gonna have a beautiful old Skidoo. Yeah, I got a raffle ticket on a purple kitty cat. And we got some other drawings over here. I guess they're giving all kinds of stuff away. A couple of raffles, a modern Arctic cat, and a cross country LT gray. So, if you guys got extra money, you guys should be buying raffle tickets this morning. Not many people in here, like I say, it's just getting underway. And of course, I forgot my mittens. Just had my gloves on. My fingers were kind of cold, so I thought I'd check out the indoor activities here. I'll be shooting a few more videos throughout the day, and I'll send them to Mike there at Vintage Snowmobile Lovers, and maybe he can make use of some of this footage. I'll try to keep them under a couple minutes and send them several videos. So long, or good morning. I'll be back, I should say.
Cool deal. Any reactions to that, Rob?
Every year they have a different theme. So that year it was John Deere, was it?
Correct. Yep. It's either a certain sled manufacturer, or it can be a certain type of sled or whatever. But yeah, there's always some sort of a theme to it. One thing that I forgot about that newer looking Arctic cat that they were giving away, that's what I don't remember the exact model, but it's actually a single cylinder. It's a new modern sled. That was kind of an odd thing to see. But
it says ZR.
I guess I've had pretty good reports on them. But yeah, that one right there.
Like, why did John Deere leave the business? Like, they had a huge market. All the farmers.
Yeah.
Race machines, touring machines. They had a good selection of machines.
Yeah, and a dealership network.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've been right here in agriculture country here in Minnesota, so they did have a lot of built-in customers because, John Deere farmers with John Deere equipment are pretty loyal to the brand. So they wouldn't drive anything other than a John Deere. But yeah, I don't know. I think some of the dealers, they were trying to service them through the tractor dealers, and then they kind of split off, I think, and did with a small utility tractor branch of John Deere. So it could have been, something like that. I think the product was always pretty good.
Yeah.
Sure. And you mentioned about a theme. Every year there's a theme. This is a good time to pop the graphic for this year's event coming up at the end of the month. Their theme this year is back to the 80s. I presume they're going to be featuring a lot of 80s sleds from the 80s. That's January 26th and 27th at ERX Motor Park in Elk River, Minnesota. And definitely want to give them a shout out for a great show. And we do have
Covers
comments.
a lot of snowmobiles.
Yes, for sure. And then Ben Thomas says, awesome to see such a variety of sleds. We'll have to make that show one of these years. Reese Fleury says, love the John Deeres. I have 8. Wonderful. We'd love to see those sometime, Reese. We'd love to bring you on for some show and tell.
The show one time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mike Whiteside says, I need to go to this show. Absolutely. James Spranger says THABN. I'm not sure what that stands for, but nice to see you, James. We're going to be having James and his brother John on the podcast.
I don't know what that is either.
But yeah, we appreciate that. Dominic Kane says John Deere was the last manufacturer to make a free air sled. Interesting. Did not know that. Pardon me. I'm just getting over a sore throat. But one more comment. I had heard it got so bad they would give you a sled if you bought a tractor. Wow. Oh man. So yeah, the writing must have been on the wall, which is why they got out of it, I imagine.
Yeah.
But let me switch screens here. I'm gonna put up the menu. We're on item number 2. We're gonna do some quick announcements for Amsoil and the Lancaster Motel, and we're gonna look at a couple of more clips. And at about 40 minutes past the hour, we're going to do some live show and tell with Dirk and look at some of his sleds. But Rob, if you're ready, I'm going to put you full screen and we're going to have you talk to us about Amsoil.
Yeah, every week we talk about how you can become a preferred customer with Amsoil. Buy stuff directly from Amsoil. Save $50 to $60 on a case of Interceptor and have it shipped right to your house free. And every couple of weeks they put a promotion thing on. So anybody that orders $75 worth, they're going to throw in 3 of these Amsoil rags and 3 of the funnels, what I don't have here on hand. But it's in the ad. Mike's going to pop up the promotion that they're doing.
Yes,
so if you want to know how to get the best possible discount on Amsoil, click on the Mike's link right on the bottom of the screen. And there's the rags and the funnels to help you pour the things. The funnels are handy. The EXT we just talked about, the special with the headlight there, that's what my daughter drives. And every once in a while she takes it for a ride and comes back and said, Dad, I got no brakes. Did you just top the oil up? I said, yeah, right beside the oil reservoir is the disc brakes, and she overfills it.
Oh, a little drip. Yeah.
Happens every time. So one of those funnels would be so handy for her.
Yes, keep it off.
If you want to know how to get the best possible discount on the Amsoil products, become a preferred customer. $10 for 6 months. You buy directly from Amsoil. They ship it right to your house. Anything more than $100 worth. If you order $75 this week until January 16th, they're going to give you the rags and the funnels. So Mike has a link right there how to click on and how to get the best possible discount. Absolutely.
Link in the description. If you're ready to join the preferred customer program, just click that link. Just a couple of links to join the preferred customer program. It's $10, but in most cases, you're going to save more than that $10 on your first order. So click that preferred customer link, couple of clicks to join, and then start shopping. And everything you click on and add to your cart is going to come up at the deepest level of discount. And once you hit $100, you're getting free shipping. And the other thing it does is it signs you up as so that I'm your Amsoil dealer. I'm also signed up as an Amsoil dealer under Rob. So once you've signed up under me, Rob and I are both available to you if you need help or have questions, anything that you need. We're available here to try and help you. And then Dirk, you were talking to me earlier about Amsoil. You had a comment you were going to make about Amsoil.
Yeah, I should have run it by Rob first to see what he thought about it, but we'll go for it live. So some of my older anything oil injection. I've got a lot of outboard motors, and I've got a lot of snowmobiles and some four-wheelers, and yeah, I've had a few of them over the years. You know, oil injection had failed, so I've started. I don't use Amsoil and everything at this point, but what I've started doing, I actually, when I fill up a little four-wheeler, the grandkids are going to use whatever, I'm always dumping an ounce or so or less, just a little bit of Amsoil in there in the event that my injection fails. You know, as long as they're not rodding on it with their finger around the throttle, you know, I might catch it in time before I'm you know, toasting engine. So I actually started using it that way, and I don't know if anybody else has done that, but just the way it's supposed to be able to be mixed to the 100 to 1 and everything, it makes me think, well, you know, a lot of those oil injection ones at idle, they're running 100 to 1 anyway.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. And oil injection pumps do quit. And a lot of machines have, if your tack's not working, the tack is running off the oil pump. So if your tack's
Really?
not working, your
Oh.
pump might have quit.
Interesting.
Yeah, I
That's a
found
good
that
thing
out the
to
hard
know.
way on an SRX.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we have some comments.
I have a lot of
Go ahead.
customers that do add a little bit of oil just for insurance.
Sure. So here's another comment from Jeffrey Patton about John Deere. He said independent front end and sales killed John Deere. So I guess they weren't keeping up with the IFS.
Yeah.
Which is true. Everything was changing to that at the time. Mike Whiteside says Elk River is only 7 hours from me. Gotta go. Cool deal. And if you go, Mike, be sure and
I
keep
would
an eye out for
recommend it.
Dirk and say hi to him. And then Mark Rick says Dirk is the man. Cool deal. He is. Absolutely.
He's another one of my neighbors.
Nice.
So
and
hi,
then
Mark.
Ben Thomas says he likes whoops, it's not coming up on the here it is. Whoop, sorry, it says he likes Dirk's insurance plan. Good idea for sure.
Yeah.
And then Mike Whiteside says definitely. So he's talking about going to Elk River. Well, cool. So we've got time for another clip or two, another video clip. And I do want to encourage people to react to these in the comments with comments, questions, thoughts. We're going to take a look at some John Deeres, since John Deere was the feature sled that year. Let's take a look at some John Deeres.
These two sleds, John Deere 400s, they just arrived today here at Elk River, Minnesota, and they recreated the ride that gentleman's dad did over there, him and his dad. I'm not sure how old his dad is. I think he's over 70. And they just basically reran the route for the I-500 here that was real popular back in the 70s. And they went through these sleds. I happened to catch it on the news the other night, a local news channel. So I stopped over here and visited with them just for a minute and found out that they just got here today. They just drove 500 miles from up in Canada all the way down to this event. Not just to come to this event, but to recreate his dad's, and I guess must be his son's sled here, and to recreate the trip that his dad had done before. And I guess they had one mishap, one little bump into a tree that resulted in some stitches, but it's pretty impressive that the Snowmobiles basically made it here today and left Canada a few days ago. I forgot to ask him how many days it took, but 500 miles, so that's pretty neat.
That is very cool. 500 miles. Rob, any reactions to that or comments?
He's got a better back than I do.
Exactly.
It wouldn't be groomed trails all the way.
Yeah. I'll bet that was an adventure, though.
Yes.
I bet he's got some stories to tell on that.
Sounds like they got lost a few times and had some accidents. You know, like I say, I did visit with this guy's dad. Just an awesome guy. Just loved to tell his story about it. I wish I would have been recording when I was visiting with him, but it was pretty neat. And basically it was the same sleds same model sled that he had actually competed in, the 500. And they, so yeah, it was pretty neat.
That is cool. Well, cool. Let me ditch this, and we've got a couple of quick things to do before we get into show and tell. I also want to talk real quick about the Lancaster Motel, our good friends at the Lancaster Motel. A little later, I'm going to be playing a little message from them that Dirk and I talked about. But right now, I'm just going to talk about how if you enjoy snowmobile history, the Lancaster Motel is the place for you because so much history around the snowmobile happened in Lancaster. The first Ski-Doo snowmobiles were imported into the U.S. through Lancaster. In fact, this is the building where they came into. This is the former Sherman Motor Company building. It used to be a Dodge dealership, and then it was purchased for the importation of Ski-Doo snowmobiles in Lancaster. It's now a welcome center, and that location is right behind the Lancaster Motel. You can stand behind the Lancaster Motel and throw a rock at that welcome center. I don't encourage you to do that, but you could. Another thought about history in Lancaster, the Lancaster Grand Prix used to happen there. They used to racers from all over the country would come, including Canada. In fact, you probably recognize this Canadian right here on the left getting an award. That's none other than Gilles Villeneuve receiving a trophy and an award right in the lobby of the Lancaster Motel back in the heyday of the early 70s. So there's just so much history associated with the Lancaster Motel. So if you want to combine some trail riding with some history, this is a wonderful way to do it. Just a few steps away is Crane's Snowmobile Museum with over 100 sleds. And then the last thing I'll say about the Lancaster Motel is that the first snowmobile club in America was founded in Lancaster, New Hampshire. So some of those legacy trails, those original trails, still exist. So if you want to do some trail riding on some of the earliest trails in America, check out the Crane Snowmobile Museum and the building across the street or behind the motel where the first Ski-Doos were imported. There's just so much you can do here if you want to combine some history with some trail riding. Couple of quick things. Sorry, I'm darting all over the place because we're getting tight on time, and I wanted to play a couple of more videos. Then we're going to do some live show and tell. Let's look at a few more John Deeres, and then we'll come back on the other side.
These two sleds, John Deere 400s, they just arrived today here at Elk River, Minnesota, and they recreated the ride that.
Whoops, I apologize.
Like the same one again.
Yeah, that was me. Sorry about that. Let me get that.
Not that we didn't like that one.
Sure. This is it right here, I think. Let's try again.
These two sleds, John Deere.
I did it again. Where is that clip? Sorry about that. Let me try this other clip and see if maybe I had them in the reverse order. Cool. So any reactions to what we're looking at there?
I've seen pictures of the tractor before.
Yeah, that's cool. Truly unique, isn't it?
I've never seen the little one, but I've seen pictures of the big one before.
Now, does anyone know, is that something John Deere was making, or is that a custom fabricated thing?
Somebody's got too much time in their hand.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's custom fabricated, yep. But it's been to a few different shows that I've been to. It's pretty unique for sure.
He did a good job on it.
Definitely. And then we've got comments coming in. We've got, here we go. Jeffrey Patton says about 1,000 miles up and down. I think he's talking about that, going that ride on that John Deere. Ben Thomas says Reese must have one of these hybrid sleds. And Mike Whiteside says that John Deere tractor actually exists. Cool deal. All right, so and I apologize, I'm rushing, but I'm trying to get as much in as we can in the time we have, because we're going to do show and tell here in a minute. But I also wanted to show a clip of that trail ride, and then we'll react to that, and then we'll do some show and tell.
Trail ride is getting underway here at Elk River. Vintage trail ride. We start out on the track here, race track, and then over there at the finish line, that's where the trail ride starts. So all the sleds you see back behind me here, coming by and over here, we're all lining up for the start of the ride. And there's a lot of guys that aren't even on the track here yet. You can look over beyond the fence and see a line of snowmobiles. They'll be joining in too. So several miles of snowmobiles here. We'll see how many are sitting here when it clears out. Hopefully we're not. We're going to start up our Colts here. Here and at our Colts, we're going to head out. Colt 250s. Hopefully they'll make the ride. Quite a variety of sleds here. Everybody's slowly moving towards the start line. So I'm going to jump out of here right now. I'll probably stop along the trail, see if I can take a couple of other short videos here. So anyway, Elk River, Minnesota, 2022. And a little more, we're getting closer to the starting line. We pulled over to the side here. A little bit of the blue haze going. We're going by land. There's snow jets for sale if you're interested. There again, the feature sled this year is John Deere, so you see a lot of John Deeres. We're probably going to be in the middle of the pack here. I'll hang in here for a few more minutes. I don't want to be dragging up the end, but things kind of bottlenecked at the start line here. I see more smoke than snowmobiles moving. So, noisy guy coming on the other side of the wall here. All right, we're going to move on out again.
My microphone was off. I apologize. Rob, any reactions to what we've been looking at with this trail ride?
That's quite a size crowd they got there. I even seen one of those rear engine ones going out there on the track at the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I think he's pulling
they go
a
on the
caboose
trail
right
ride
there,
too.
Yeah, he's pulling a caboose too. Is that with spare parts?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good turnout. Holy smokes!
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun to stop along the way and just watch them cruise on by.
Yeah, for sure. That is something to see. Oh, we've got comments aplenty coming in here too. Let's take a look. David from Alaska Road says that ride makes me tremble. I would love to attend that ride with my TXL. Absolutely. Very similar to that TX that's in the screen here, or TXL. Mike Whiteside says, wow. Absolutely. That's some eye candy right there. Brent Corbin says that show looks awesome. What a turnout. Wow. Incredible. Ben Thomas says, not sure if it would be cooler to be in a vintage ride that big or watch one that big. Yeah, either way, that's a treat for sure. And then someone on Facebook is wondering how many sleds participated. Do you have a number on that, Dirk? Any idea?
I don't. It's they have a clicker at the trail ride, so somebody knows, but I don't know.
I bet it was in the hundreds, easy.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely in the hundreds. I would say maybe over 1,000.
If the
Sure.
Facebook guy wants to go and count, we'll have him on the show next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Reese Fleury was talking about an Indy with a bike engine. I didn't catch that, but I'm going to scroll through real quick.
I thought I saw something with an engine sitting out of the front of it.
Oh yeah, I have seen that one before. It's actually like a
think you just passed
750
it.
or something.
Right there, in the bottom corner. Yep, it's got 4 pipes sticking out of it.
Yeah.
There's those.
If I remember
rear
right,
engine
it's a
ones,
Honda
too.
750. I think it was.
Wow. Oh, and then someone is wanting to know how long was the trail ride? Any idea how many miles?
I think it goes like 6, 7 miles. It kind of winds around.
So
And
there's
then
a
there's
loop.
places you can stop and have a cocktail and food and whatnot. And
Yeah. Good deal. Well, cool. I hate to cut this short, but we've got even more fun things to do here. So let me get situated, and we're going to bring on Dirk's cell phone, and he's going to show us what he's got there in the room. And we're going to change the screen here to put it. There we go. Yes, talk
There
to
we
us, Dirk.
go.
What are we
Okay.
looking at?
All right. Well, this is for me. This is kind of where snowmobiling started. My grandpa bought me a snowmobile. It's not this exact one. I have the remains of it out in my other shed, but this is kind of what got it going for me. And it's actually a 340 fan cooled twin carbureted Colt, and so I got a soft spot for Colts. So I've got a whole fleet of Colts out in the other shed that my kids and my grandkids and everybody, that's what we all learned to snowmobile on, is the Colts. We do have a little modern 120 too, but the kids, they quickly go up to the 175 Colt or the 250 Colt, and my one grandson, like 9, he's got turned loose a little bit on the 340 last year. It made grandma pretty nervous. So anyway, that's got, so like I say, you'll see that later too. I got a few Colts, and this Exciter here, this is I'm a second owner. A good friend of mine bought this brand new, and he took extremely good care of it. And when I bought it, it was about 10 years old. It's 1980 Exciter, and super fast for the day. Not much suspension for any day. So
Sure.
they were kind of a wild ride. But after I bought it, I ended up doing a lot of riding with it, and most of the people were riding with were running, independent front suspension sleds, a lot of indies and whatnot. And actually, I remember riding with a group of guys that I think all but one of them were riding an XLT, like another one I got back over here. That's my newer snowmobile, if that tells you how old my snowmobiles are.
Sure.
But the thing that was unique about this Exciter, well, we did a lot of ditch riding and through the woods and just boondocking, and it's such a light snowmobile. Sometimes we'd get those independent suspension sleds get kind of hung up in the soft snow, and get a little speed up, it would just float over anything. So you were tired after you kept up with the, some more modern sleds in the day. But it's still a reliable rider. In fact, everything I've got other than the carcass out there, they're all ridden on a regular basis.
Nice.
This EXT here is actually my brother-in-law's, and he's got another Arctic Cat, and they were kind of got out of snowmobiling, didn't really want to sell them, but they were getting in a state of disrepair. So they ended up becoming part of my herd. And so it's all right, because this is actually oil or a fuel injected 580, and electric start, and it starts right up and runs great. It is the old enough EFI though. If your battery's dead, you're not going anywhere. Even if you pull started, it takes a good battery to have the EFI run on that. But but I don't know. We've had a lot of fun with that one. And this SLT I bought several years ago, and then I was having so much fun with it. And after I had it about a month, all of a sudden one day I was having too much fun and burnt down the engine. And I didn't realize, the guy didn't mention the fact when I bought it that he had it jetted for the mountains. So then I ended up, a good friend of mine helped me rebuild the engine, and it's about due for another rebuild. The sled still looks okay, but she's getting kind of tired. It's kind of finicky to start, but once it's running, it still runs good. I was going to see if we could see the odometer. I don't remember what's on this thing. It's like
8224.
8,000. Yep.
Wow,
And
yeah.
So, and really, I haven't, other than that engine problem, the suspension and stuff, I have replaced a few things, but that's been my good rider if we're going on the trails and stuff or just ripping around here. I do like to take the old Colts and see if I can keep up with some of the other guys too. So, uh, anyway, if you want to run that ad, unless there's any questions on these, otherwise, if you want to run the Lancaster Motel thing, I think we're going to run, Mike, and then I'd
Yeah,
run out
I'm
to
going
the
to
other
do that
building.
in just a second. Before we do, we've got a
Okay.
couple of comments that have come in.
Sure.
Mike Whiteside is saying those Yamahas were easy to lift out of a drift.
They
True.
were. They were. They're still easy to lift. And at my age, everything else seems heavy, but the Colts aren't too bad. But yeah, it was a a light snowmobile with a big engine. There's no doubt. I haven't really cleaned it up under the hood here this year since I just took it out of my storage shed today after Mike said we should look at some snowmobiles. But
Yeah, nice.
and I haven't done anything to this, and this is in kilometers. I guess shouldn't say anything. I did break the handlebars a few years ago. This is in
Sure.
kilometers there.
Okay,
Rob
wow,
can
yeah.
help us. He can help us convert that to miles there. 16,000 kilometers.
Would be 10,000.
Yeah.
It's close to 10,000 miles.
Yeah, and like I say, it actually is a good runner. It doesn't probably wouldn't hit the top speeds it did back in the day, but in 1980 it was one fast snowmobile for sure.
Yeah, and Mike Whiteside is saying best ditch banger ever.
Yeah, yeah, I've
And
seen
then
a
we've
few
got-
people that modify these with the high handlebars and engine swaps and everything. But yeah, I still really enjoy riding ditches. You know, there's some hazards, but there's hazards on trails too. So
Sure. And then one last comment. We've got someone on Facebook saying, good night, Mike LaPierre. Just got home from work. Cool deal. Glad you could join us. Well, cool. So if you are ready, Dirk, we're going to play that Lancaster Motel ad.
okay,
The thing I forgot to mention about them, there are links in the description if you're curious about the Lancaster Motel. We're going to play a quick message from the Lancaster Motel while Dirk transitions into his other building. I'd like to give a quick shout out to our friends at the historic Lancaster Motel in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Lancaster Motel has been serving snowmobilers since the 60s, and they are the perfect eastern trail riding destination for snowmobilers young and old. The Lancaster Motel is right on Corridor Trail 5 in Lancaster, New Hampshire, with plenty of parking for vehicles, sleds, and trailers. Plus, the Lancaster Motel is within walking distance of Crane's Snowmobile Museum, plus restaurants, shopping, entertainment, and more. Click the link in the description to learn more about the Lancaster Motel. Cool. So we are back, and Dirk is on his way out to that other building. While we're waiting on that, we've got a comment that's come in. Ben Thomas says, wow, Dirk, you've sure put the miles on. Absolutely. Some miles on that sled.
Yes, he likes to drive, I think.
yeah,
Yes, yeah.
that's. I'm gonna get a little bit more light than the subject. I was gonna bring another light out from the garage, and I forgot. We'll see how we do with the available light in my storage facility here.
There we go. That's looking good.
Yeah, so we're out here in the cold weather, 20 degrees. This is an unheated building. If you think it looks like it's got a low ceiling, it does. I'm a sailboat junkie, so these are all sailboat masts that I'm trying not to hit my head on. But just so someone doesn't wonder what the heck kind of building I'm in. I'm in a low lean-to with mast above my head.
Nice.
So this was my first IFS sled that I got, this Indy 400, and I still like it. It did put me in the hospital a couple days after a bad crash, and but by the time I got out of the hospital, my buddies had pulled it all back into shape, and I'll have to share a picture to Mike sometime about that. It ran into a square edge, like a drain ditch culvert. So basically it hit about 50 miles an hour into a brick wall. So I'm still impressed that we can ride it today. And after I got it fixed, then my daughter, when she was in high school, that was her hot rod that she used to run around and race the boys with.
Nice. Now, Dirk, are you able to see that comment on the screen?
Let's see. Yeah. those 89 Indies got a crazy top end. Well, you know, I drove with the guys with 500s all the time, and I couldn't tell any difference.
Nice. Keep right up with them.
Yeah, and I actually like the color scheme of it and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did a lot of rides on that at one point, and like I say, it's still. I don't think I'd want to jump on and take it for a 500-mile trail ride, but I wouldn't be afraid to rip around 30, 40 miles on it. Usually when all the kids are home, we get them all going, see how big a line of snowmobiles we can get. And here's the carcass of my my first Colt right here. That's all that's left of it. I started stripping parts off it a long time ago to keep some other Colts going. I still was always going to kind of resurrect it, but I think right now, my last idea, I was going to put the hood on and put some skids underneath it and make it for a sled to pull my granddaughters on. But I don't know if I'll get around to that project or not either.
Yeah.
So let's see. It's going to be a little short on light back here, but this is some more of my Colts. This is a 250 Colt here. Some good friends of ours in the small town in Lake Lillian I lived in for a while. I bought this. It was sitting out behind their building, hadn't run for years, and I bought it for a couple $100. And it's still my go-to snowmobile, a little 250 single cylinder. It'll start when it's colder than heck out on 1 or 2 poles, and you know, with the suspension it has, it goes fast enough.
Yeah.
So. And then this is another little bit newer 250. I was looking to buy a seat from a guy. He had a nice reupholstered seat, which you can't see because it's too dark back here. And he's a guy in the area here that actually is known, not just in this area, but for making reupholstering snowmobile seats. And I was looking for a seat, and I ended up buying the whole snowmobile instead of the seat. So I didn't really need one of those, but I did, and I got a 175 Colt here. This is kind of the grandkid special here. That's what they got to start on the 175 and work their way up to the 250. And like you say, I got a couple of these 250s. So, and like I say, that's still almost my favorite thing to do is when we get some fresh snow, just run out with one of the old 250s going through the snow and making my own path.
Yeah. That's a good time.
Yeah. So it's a little dark in that back corner. Though this is one I just forgot to mention here too. It's a wide track 440. Basically, it's a Colt with a wider tunnel on it, and it's got the built-in beer cooler under the seat option.
There we go. Ice fisherman special.
Yeah, which comes in handy. We do a lot of like go on a short little trail ride and then have a campfire and stuff. And
Nice.
And so I've got another sled we pull behind with wood and everything. And then of course I got the classic cutter that you need to have if you're going to go on an old snowmobile ride with kids or to carry food and beverages and whatnot. So
yeah,
this is my stable of workhorses out here. And normally I would have them all out and running by this time of year, but we just haven't had any snow. But usually these old Colts, all you got to do is mess with the brakes a little bit, the hydraulic brakes, get them freed up, and usually you're ready to ride. So
nice.
I put a few tracks on and a few drive wheels to kind of keep them going, but for the most part, they've been pretty darn reliable. So that's it from the cold storage shed out here.
Oh, cool. Perfect timing too, because we're right up at the top of the hour.
Okay.
We've got some comments that have come in. We've got David from Alaska Railroad saying, great show, guys. He says, thank you to Mike, Rob, and Dirk. We appreciate that. Appreciate your viewing. And also our good friend Ben Thomas says, great show, gentlemen. Thank you for sharing your collection, Dirk.
Yeah, it was, I enjoyed it. The only thing I'd enjoy more if we got some snow.
Yeah, we'll have to bring you on another time when there's snow and you do some drive-bys. That would be amazing.
Right. I'll maybe send you some videos. I've got some GoPro videos with my Colts going through the woods and stuff that you might enjoy too.
That could be fun. Yeah, for sure.
Your place must be the busiest place in town when you get snow, eh?
Yeah. When the grandkids are around, it gets pretty busy, but yeah, no, we've got a few other friends and some vintage snowmobile people and snowmobile people locally that we get together with our little bonfire gatherings and stuff. And that's really a fun part of snowmobiling for sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, more comments coming in. Our good friend Reese Fleury is saying, "Great show, thank you. We appreciate that." Mike Whiteside has a question for Rob and wants to know if he's coming to Eagle River in 2 weeks.
I'm at Valcourt, Quebec then.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then someone on Facebook is saying, "Great job, guys. We appreciate that." And quick final comment, Rob, before we wrap it up.
I like it when you see people that ride their snowmobiles, not just put them up a shelf.
Yeah.
Yes,
Derek, we enjoy your show.
Thank you.
definitely. Yeah, and thank you, Dirk. Any final thoughts before we close, Dirk?
No, just thanks for the opportunity to share this. And like I say, I've got a couple other friends that would have be good subjects for your show too, that I'll maybe try to convince them to jump on board one day.
Please do. Please do. Well, I was looking for new contacts and new sleds to look at, or new old sleds to look at.
Right.
And Mike Whiteside says, "Great job, Dirk. Thank you." And cool. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. We're at the top of the hour. Time to close the program, but we had a wonderful time tonight. Thank you so much to the viewers. Thank you to Rob. Thank you for Dirk to coming on. Thank you to Dirk for coming on. I got that backwards. But yeah, and it's the new year, so let's a happy new year to everyone, and let's hope it's a good one. And as always, the last word goes to Amsoil. Have a good one, everybody.
Show.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys.
Yep. Good night.
Hello, everyone. This is Rob and Mike. How you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing good. Mike, yourself?
Very well. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Now, today, we're going to be talking about Amsoil. And in a few moments, we're going to show you how you can get the deepest discounts, free shipping, and free gifts when you order your Amsoil products through us. But first, I'm going to ask Rob to give you a quick description of what Amsoil is and why you should consider using Amsoil products in your motorized vehicles.
Thanks, Mike. Amsoil is 100% synthetic oil. Everybody uses Amsoil for a different reason. Some people like the benefits that Amsoil is warranted for 25,000 miles or 1 year. The reason we can do that is because Amsoil doesn't oxidize. It doesn't form the usual carbons, gums, sludges like petroleum oils do. That's why we can keep it in the engines longer. Petroleum oils never do wear out. They oxidize themselves. That's why they have to be changed at 3,000 kilometers. And Amsoil likes the benefit that you only have to change the oil once a year. That saves some money. Some of the people like the benefit of Amsoil is it's a slipperier type lube. By having a slipperier type lube, it cuts down friction and drag. By less friction and drag, engines run 20 to 50 degrees cooler, better gas mileage. Now, Amsoil says 25% more protection than the industry requires is in the Amsoil bottles. My average customer gets about 10% increase in gas mileage. That's a big savings.
Yeah.
And by cutting down friction and drag, for every 10 degrees you cut down the friction and drag, doubles the life of the engine. So by having the engine run cooler, it makes it last longer. Some people like the benefit of the range of the Amsoil. Amsoil's flash point is 425 degrees, and it pours at 50 below zero.
Wow.
If you ever try petroleum oil when it's 10 below, it turns to honey. And in the summertime, petroleum oil thins out, and once it thins out, that's when it starts breaking down. So Amsoil's an all-season oil, can give you better gas mileage, longer engine life, less maintenance. It ends up being cheaper over a year's time running Amsoil than it is petroleum oils.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And Amsoil is available for pretty much any motorized vehicle, anything from lawn equipment, cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles.
Yep. And a lot of people phone me up and say, well, what's the benefit of our gear lube? Exactly what I told you about the engine oil. It pours in cold weather, it runs cooler, makes the equipment last longer. And they say, well, what's the benefit of the small engine? Same thing. Makes the engine run cooler, last longer, better performance. So it saves on all the applications that Amsoil has available.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, let's talk now. Hopefully this has convinced people to think about maybe joining us in the Amsoil experience. Let's talk about some of the discounts and free shipping and how that all happens. I'm going to pop a graphic on the screen. And yeah, by all means, if you want to talk people through how this preferred customer program works.
Amsoil has a number of different programs. One of our main ones is a catalog customer, where somebody can order directly out of our catalog. If they order out of the catalog, they order $100 worth, Amsoil will ship it right to their house. But our best program is our preferred customer. For only $10 for 6 months, you become a preferred customer. You save 25% on all the product. You order $100 worth, they're going to give you free shipping. You don't have to order a whole case. You can mix and match. Say you want 4 bottles of small engine, 7 bottles of 5W30, and a couple of gear loops. You can mix and match. You can order 1 bottle at a time if you want. There's no minimums, no maximums. By being a preferred customer, you save over 25% on all the products you're going to buy. Amsoil sends you extra gifts, a $5 gift certificate on your birthday, $5 when you renew your account, and stuff like that. So it's a good way to save on some of the products you want to buy.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, it's an incredible value, and this is the deepest level of discount that anyone can get when ordering Amsoil. Is that correct?
It is. It is.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let's take people through the step-by-step experience of placing an Amsoil order. Then that would include signing up for the preferred customer discount, or sorry, preferred customer program, so they can receive those deepest levels of discount. So let's go to the website. This is what the website's going to look like. These are some screenshots. Once you go to amsoil.com, there's a link in the description, or you can just type that into a browser, amsoil.com. This is the page you land on. At the upper corner of the page there, you see how I've circled in red. That is the link to click, the Join Now link. That will take you to the preferred customer program page, where you can take advantage of all of these discounts and free shipping and everything that we've just been talking about. This is what that page looks like. In the lower right, you're going to click Join Now. This will pop up. You select the duration you'd like, whether it's 6 months or 12 months, and click Add to Cart. Now, once this pop-up goes away, you'll be back on the main page. And the upper left, you'll see where I've got that red arrow. It says Shop. Now you can start shopping for products, and on your very first order, you're going to get these discounts and the free shipping as long as it's over $100. You'll get all of these benefits right away. So once you click Shop, it's going to take you to the product page. There's different types of oils, lubricants, so on and so forth. For the benefit of this exercise we're doing now, I'm just going to click motor oil. It shows different types of motor oil. Let's click gasoline. Now this takes us to an item. It's their synthetic motor oil. And you can see the item there, and there's choices for different viscosities. But take a look at the price. Let's take a closer look. Let's zoom in. But if you've joined the preferred customer program first, you're going to automatically get the deepest levels of discount. That's what we're looking at here. You're saving $3.80 on that quart of oil. Instead of paying $16.29, you're now paying $12.49 for that quart of oil. That is the deepest level of discount you can possibly get. And then you just add the quantity that you'd like. You select any other items that you're thinking about, add them to the cart. And once you click Add to Cart for the final time, you're going to see this come up at the top of the screen. It's going to show your items and your the total that you're at so far. Pardon me. And then you just click View Cart in the upper right, and that'll take you to your cart. Take a close look here at the upper right. That blue box shows that you're getting free shipping. You're eligible for free shipping on this order because it's over $100. That little yellow box shows that you've got the preferred customer membership on your order. That gives you the deepest levels of discounts for the next 6 to 12 months. And then below that, you've got the items that have been selected. For the exercise here, I selected 9 quarts of the signature series, but that brings us up over $100 for the free shipping. We're saving $34.20. And if you're ready to finish, you click Checkout Now, and that takes you to this screen here. If you haven't signed up with an Amsoil account at this point, just click in the lower right to create an account, create a new account. It's going to ask you for some basic information, name and those types of things. Now let's take a closer look. You'll see this gray shaded box. This is a very important box. This is going to ask you if someone has referred you to Amsoil. And if so, please enter my name. My name is Mike LaPierre. It's spelled right there on the screen for the correct spelling. And also the referral number, 304-555-94. That's how you make sure that Rob and I get credit for this. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I have signed up for Amsoil under Rob. So when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. So if you enjoy these podcasts that we're doing, this is a wonderful way to support the podcast, because when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. And the commissions I make go directly toward offsetting the cost of doing these podcasts. So I thank you in advance for that, for using my referral number. I very much appreciate it. And once you've done that, you just go into the next screen to enter your payment information, and you're done. Now, once you've placed your order that's over $100, and that order includes your Amsoil preferred customer program, you are now eligible to get a free DVD from myself. Now, this is going to be either a muscle car DVD or a vintage snowmobile DVD. Use the email address on the screen, wkspodcasts@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know which DVD you would like me to send you, the muscle car or the vintage snowmobile DVD, and I'll get that right out to you. As you're typing in that email, in the subject line, be sure and type in capital letters "free DVD requests" so it stands out as I'm checking my email, and we'll get that right out to you. So I guess the last thing, Rob, that we wanted to talk about is if someone is considering Amsoil as a business opportunity.
Yes. If anybody has a retail or a commercial account and they would like to buy directly from Amsoil, just send Mike a line. He'll show you how to set up, and you can buy directly from Amsoil. But if you are interested in starting your own part-time business, a part-time business that can grow into a full-time income, Mike and I will show you the Amsoil marketing plan. Amsoil has a large selection of products that cover almost every application. So it doesn't matter if you're into snowmobile, boating, or ATVing, or hot rods. We have an oil for every application. It's a fun type business that's I really enjoy doing. Where else can I go and have fun and make money doing it? And Mike and I are here to help you all the way along. If you need any help on how to promote or to find new accounts, we're here to help you.
For sure. So when you sign up under that number, this 304-555-94, you're getting Rob and I as a team. Now, Rob has been doing Amsoil for 40 years. Can you believe that? 40 years. So he knows every aspect of this business, and he knows all of the ins and outs of the products. So he'll be able to help you with any kind of product questions or any kind of questions to show you the different business models that you can do with Amsoil. And then the other thing that you get when you sign up under me is I've got a strong background in social media. So if you need some coaching on how to generate Amsoil leads using Facebook and YouTube, I'm happy to coach you with that when you sign up under Rob and I. You get both of us as a team to help you, to coach you, to support you, whatever you need to get you off and running with this business and having fun with it. Like Rob said, it's an enormous amount of fun. If you're like Rob and I and you enjoy going to any kind of boat shows, car shows, motorcycle shows, snowmobile shows, anything with a motor, you like going to those shows, those events, those races, this is a great way to turn that into a income opportunity for you.
Yes, yes. And just by wearing my Amsoil hat at one of these events, people come up and ask me about Amsoil. People don't know where to buy it, and I'm there to help them, show them where they can buy the product. Perfect.
Well, cool. Well, this is great. Any final thoughts, Rob, before we wrap it up?
Amsoil's a fun business. Amsoil's been around since 1968. It was the first synthetic oil to be AI approved.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's very early in the game too, isn't it?
Yes.
For sure. Well, good. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for viewing. Hopefully, we've gotten you excited as we are about the Amsoil products. We'd love it if you could join us either as someone who uses the Amsoil products or to join the Amsoil team as a business opportunity. And we thank you so much for viewing. Have a great day.
You have a good day.